how do you play behind a speaker? There might be times, probably at your church services, where the pastor gets up and wants to say something, or maybe the worship leader is speaking, or maybe the pastor is giving an altar call and asks you to play something underneath what they're saying. And so how do you do that? The main principle that I want you to remember is less is more. So again, just like we talked about when we're playing with other instrumentalists, less is more. In this case, you are playing with someone speaking. And so not only is less more, but you also do not want to detract from what they're saying. So you want to support what they're saying without drawing attention to yourself. So how do we do that? One way we can do that is by using pads. And so we talked about pads a little bit in the previous lesson. But for example, on my keyboard, if I just add a simple worship pad to what I'm playing here, I could just play something very simple. And I could even play without my piano sound at all. I could just play a pad. And I'll show you in just a little bit what I'm playing and some ideas I can give you. Okay, but using a simple pad sound like that is going to be very not distracting. Some churches want you to actually play a piano sound, so that's fine. We can definitely do that as well. But either way, we're going to do something that just is simple and not distracting. Again, not too much. So playing very simply, you can use pads. And what do you play? Basically, you want to start with a consistent chord progression. Typically, you'd probably choose a chord progression from the song that you just finished or that you're just starting. So choose a very simple chord progression, maybe 4 chords, and then improvise off of that chord progression. Now, improvisation is a topic that we'll discuss in the early intermediate worship piano course. So you can feel free to look ahead on that one and learn how to improvise. We'll talk about various ideas there. But basically, you're kind of making up the right-hand part. Probably not just playing the chords like we've done here. That works. You can do that. It's okay. But you might want to experiment with other melodic ideas that you can do in the right hand. So let's just use as an example, Adoration. I picked this song because it's the chord progression at the beginning is very simple, and we can it tends to work really well for that more reflective, like altar call type of style. So what we would probably do is we'd probably choose either those first 4 chords or the chords of the verse. We could totally play the chords of the entire verse just over and over again, kind of improvising on top of it. So let me just give you a little example of what you might be able to do here. Okay, so I have my A chord. Again, I'm keeping it pretty simple. I'm not playing all this fancy stuff, because that's going to draw attention to me instead of keeping the attention on what the person speaking is saying. Even what I'm playing right now might be a little distracting in certain environments. So maybe something a little simpler. And you can communicate too with the person speaking, communicate with them beforehand and ask them, what are they expecting you to play? Do they want you to play a flowing piano part? If so, then you could do a little bit more. So notice I'm playing the chords, but I'm adding some things in between the chords, just by listening. And we'll talk in the early intermediate course about ear training and improvisation, which are going to give you the skills you need to do more of that. But this is just an introduction for now. Okay, so you can talk to them, ask them what they want you to do. Maybe they want you to play a pad as well. Maybe they want you to play just a pad, in which case that's easy. You can just play your just simple chords. Something like that is really simple and clearly not distracting at all. So that gives you some ideas of some things you can do. Choose a consistent chord progression and then just play that chord progression over and over, keeping it simple. Less is more. If you have a question, should I play more or less? Less is almost always the answer. Okay, don't draw attention to yourself. You want to support what the speaker is saying. And I just demonstrated that for you. A great activity is to speak and see if you can play along with it. And another great activity is to record yourself speaking and then play along with it. So perhaps just record yourself reading a Bible passage. Maybe John 1 or Isaiah 53 or Psalm 23, something like that. Record yourself speaking that passage and then see if you can play underneath it. Or try reading it and playing at the same time. So if I did "The Lord is my shepherd," that's going to naturally make it so you will be playing much less than you would have otherwise. So let's say we do Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. I have all that I need. He lets me rest in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. And even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely your goodness and your mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. You can even notice in what I played there that when there was more intensity, more passion, more resolve in the words of the passage, I brought it up dynamically just a little bit and did a few more things with the accompaniment patterns. So it's so cool. One of my favorite things to do is to play behind a speaker, because you can improvise, you can create, and you can really support what they're doing. And again, when you're playing with them, listen. That's probably the number one. Number one is listen. Number two is less is more. When you're playing on a worship team or playing behind a speaker, listen to them. If you're connecting with their words, with what they're saying, then you're naturally going to be playing less anyway, because you're not thinking as much about what cool thing can I do. Okay, so listen to them, and then keep it simple. That's good. I hope you enjoyed this video. The clip that you just watched is from my course called Intermediate Worship Piano. If you would like to learn more about how to play worship piano from a heart of worship and love for Jesus, check out my online lessons and courses at adorationmusicacademy.com.